Hello everyone, welcome to Payad 5. I am so happy that our channel is growing. Thank you our dear subscribers. Thank you for your support. Today I am going to discuss about operations with integers. If you are new in this channel, don't forget to subscribe and don't miss our other math videos, area and circumference of a circle, techniques in multiplication using your hands, and percent problems. So this would be my first math video for this year 2021. So today we are going to cover four operations with integers: adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. Try to take a look at this number line. What are integers? They include all of the positive and negative whole numbers. Take note of the word whole numbers. No fractions, no decimals. And zero. So at the left are examples of integers: 3, -4, 12, 0. And at the right, not integers. So we have decimals, fractions, and so on. Let us have opposites, because we're going to touch that later on. What are opposites? These are two integers of the same distance from the origin, but on different sides of zero. One on the right and one on the left. So that's opposites. Every positive integer has a negative integer, an equal distance from the origin. So the opposite of 6 is -6. The opposite of -2 is +2. Let's also talk about absolute value. It is a distance a number is from zero on a number line. So it's always a positive number because we are talking about distance. It will always be positive. It's indicated by two vertical lines. Every number has an absolute value. So opposites have the same absolute values since they are the same distance from zero. So examples, absolute value of -8 will always be +8, and even +8 also 8. Okay, so just think of the number line. How far is 0 to -8? So that's 8 units. That's why we say 8, +8. So for 50, it's 50, and for -50, it's 50. Okay, so let us now start with adding rules. Let's start with same signs, like signs. So take note of these concepts and this important rule. If the integers have the same signs, add the numbers and keep the same sign. So we would say positive plus positive will give us a positive answer. Negative plus negative will give us a negative answer. Okay, so take note of this concept. Negative, especially this one, negative plus negative equals a negative answer. So I always tell my students, so it's easy for you to get this concept. Just remember when we say positive, okay, when we say positive number, it will represent money being paid, and a negative number is the money owed or money in debt. Okay, so money paid and money owed. So examples. Let's start first with +6 and +8. The answer is +14. Okay, now let's talk about all negative. -3 plus -10. So as I've said, think of this as money owed. So if you owe $3 and then on the next day you will borrow again another 10, so altogether you owe 13. Simple as that. Okay, just add the numbers and keep the sign. -3 plus -10 is -13. All right, how about if the signs are different? If the integers have different signs, subtract the numbers and use the sign of the bigger number. Okay, so first take a look at the numbers. Okay, get their absolute values, subtract the two numbers, and then get the sign of the bigger number. So if the bigger number is positive, then your answer is positive. If the bigger number is negative, then your answer will be negative. Okay, so let us use that concept again about money. Negative 13 plus 7, so subtract the 2. The absolute value of negative 13 is 13, and then 7, subtract it, the answer is 6. Now, the bigger number, which is 13, has a negative sign, so the answer is negative 6. Okay, it would make sense if you represent this negative 13 as money owed. Okay, suppose you owe money you owe $13, so that's negative 13, and then you're gonna pay $7. So think about that. If you pay only $7, you would not even pay off the money owed, right? So if you subtract that, that's $6, and you still owe another. You still have a debt of $6. So that's why the answer is still negative 6. Okay, it's still negative. Now, how about if you pay a bigger number, a bigger amount? Okay, so another example, 23 plus negative 8. Okay, so the money owed is $8, and then you're paying $23, so that's bigger, right? So you will have an extra $15 plus the money owed is already paid off. Okay, so again, 23 plus negative 8, subtract the 2, their absolute values is 15, and the bigger number has a positive sign, so the answer is positive 15. Okay, you try. Pause this video and then come back when you're done. Okay, let's check if you are correct. 12 plus negative 4, subtract their absolute values, 12 and 4, that's 8, right? Okay, so this is 8, and 12 is bigger than 4, and 12 has a positive sign, so the answer is positive 8. Okay, you may or may not write the positive anymore. Okay, now let's have like signs, same signs, negative 8 and negative 9. So first, add the two numbers. 9 and 8 is 17. Okay, since they are both negative, they are both representing money owed. Therefore, the total money owed is 17, so it's negative 17. Okay, same signs, take the common sign, which is negative. These are both positive, so it's easy, that's 15. And this one, negative 11 plus 5, 11 and 5, subtract that. The absolute values of 11 and 5, that's 6. And the bigger number, which is 11, has a sign of negative. Therefore, the answer is negative 6. Okay. If you have questions later on or along the way, please comment down below, okay? So we can check that. Now let's proceed to subtracting rules, okay? So I would like you to really understand the concept of subtracting, okay? I will just write here on the right side. The main concept of subtracting is adding the opposite. Okay, what do I mean with that? So look at the right side for this example. So we can get this concept of subtraction. So if we have 5 minus 3, the answer is 2, right? So we know that if we take away 3 from 5, the answer is 2. So take note of this minus, this operation minus. Okay? Now, if I am going to have adding of integers that are unlike sign, 5 plus negative 3, okay, using the previously learned rules that when we add unlike signs, we subtract the two numbers, right? 5 and 3, the answer is 2. And we take the sign of the bigger number. And the bigger number is 5, and that's positive. Therefore, your answer is positive 2. So their answers are the same. but different operations, right? And now this is the main concept. Subtraction, okay, I'm going to circle this operation. Subtraction actually means adding, okay, look at this. See? Subtraction actually means adding the opposite, okay? So when you take away 3, that's minus 3, that actually means plus, instead of saying 3, plus negative 3. Again, subtracting means adding the opposite. So if it is 5 minus 3, the minus becomes a plus because it's adding, but the opposite of 3. And the opposite of 3 is negative 3. Okay, so 5 plus negative 3 and 5 minus 3 are the same, which is 2. So using that concept, we're going to build some rules here for subtraction of integers. All right, so put around the second number and its sign. So put a parenthesis around the second number. So it will help us a lot. And then change subtraction sign to an addition. If you ask why, we already built the concept that subtracting means addition, right? But we have a continuation, adding the opposite. So subtraction is changed to addition, and then change the sign of the second number to its opposite. And then follow the rules for addition. So let's review. What are the rules of addition? If they're the same sign, just add the numbers, keep the same sign. If they're different, you subtract and use the sign of the bigger number. Okay? So negative 5 minus negative 10 is positive 5. 9 minus 23 is negative 14. Okay. So let's solve it step by step. Step 1. Keep the first number. Okay, so negative 5 minus negative 10. Keep the first number. That's negative 5. Here. Change subtraction to addition. Subtracting means adding the opposites. So change this minus to plus. Okay, the minus here. Okay, you can insert the parenthesis here so you will not be confused further. Okay, put a parenthesis on the second number, negative 10. So the minus now becomes a plus, and then this one inside the parenthesis, you change it to its opposite. Now it's positive 10. So this becomes negative 5 plus 10. So we are now in addition, and let's apply the rules. Okay, these are different signs, so we subtract the two numbers, 5 and 10, that's 5, and copy the sign of the bigger number, that's 10. So it's positive, so therefore the answer is positive 5. Okay, how about the second example, 9 minus 2? Okay, so you're putting the 23 in the parentheses, just to emphasize that 23 here is positive. Okay, so 9 minus 23, the minus becomes addition plus, and this positive 23 turns into negative, it's opposite. So to say 9 minus 23 is the same with 9 plus negative 23. Okay, so addition rules. These are different. Subtract the two numbers, 9 and 23, that's 14. The sign of the bigger numbers, 23, is negative, so therefore our answer is negative 14. Okay, now let's have some techniques. First technique, we can just go right away to minus and a minus. Take note of this. A minus and a negative sitting together side by side. You will just connect them, okay? And change it to positive. Again, a minus and a minus will turn into a positive. You will know that in multiplication. right? Just a technique. Huh? Anyway, when you follow the step by step on the rules, you see that it becomes a positive, right? So technique number one, a minus and a minus sitting together, you can connect them and put a vertical line here, so that means plus. So what do you see? Negative 5 plus 10. All right? So negative 5 plus 10 is positive 5. I would not say this a technique, but it is understandable that when you subtract a bigger number from a smaller number, you would get a result of negative, right? So 9 minus 23, so subtract the 2, 23 and 9, that's 14. So since you are taking away a bigger number, then your answer is a negative number, okay? Let's have examples. Right, so pause this video, take time to answer, and come back when you're done. So subtract the integers. I hope you have the answer there with you. 17 minus 4. So this is a grade 1 lesson. 17 take away 4, that's 13. Positive 13. Okay? No need to think of any rules here. Now let's have the second number. So negative 8 minus a negative 5. Let's now apply the technique. Okay? So a minus and a minus. Connect it. Okay, what do you see? You see a negative 8 plus 5. The answer is negative 3. Okay, so again, subtract 8 and 5, that's 3. Sign of the bigger number is negative, so negative 3. Right? Just remember, if you have subtraction, turn it to addition immediately. Addition rule. Okay, apply the addition rule. But don't forget the second step. Change the sign of the second number to its opposite. So again, this minus here becomes addition, and this negative 5 becomes a positive. So addition and positive, that's why we are just making it plus. Okay? Right. Next, a smaller number, take note of this concept, a smaller number minus a bigger number, it's always a negative. Right? Makes sense. Why? Let's have the concept of uh, money representation. You have a $2, okay? And then you owe $11, so you still owe $9. Okay, so 2 minus 11 is negative 9. And this one, I will be introducing to you another technique, okay? Technique number 3. But first, let's follow step by step. So negative 4 minus 12. Let's emphasize that this is positive 12. That's why we put it in a parenthesis. So again, keep the first number, okay? Minus, that's the operation. And remember that we are subtracting by a positive 12, okay? We're gonna put that in a parenthesis. Okay, why do we put that in a parenthesis? Because sometimes we might uh, see that a 12 is negative, okay? This is just a minus positive 12. Okay, so negative 4 minus 12, positive 12. So step by step, change minus to addition and change the second number to its opposite. Positive 12, opposite is negative 12. What do you see? We are in addition rules and we are adding both negatives, so the answer is negative. Okay? The answer is negative. Keep the sign. So 4 and 12, that's 16. So the answer is negative 16. Okay? Technique number 3. I'm going to write it here on the right side. Okay? Negative 4 minus 12. Okay, if you see an example like this, you don't see a minus and a minus here, just simply minus here. Okay? So a negative number take away by a positive number, or say negative 4 minus 12, you just simply slide the minus and a minus, negative. Okay, and then combine or add these two numbers, 4 and 12, the answer is 16. Okay, so I will be adding one more example just to emphasize that technique number 3. Let's say we have here negative 10 minus 4. Okay, so it should be in this format. Okay, a negative number minus a positive number, so minus and a minus. All right, so just slide the negative and combine these two numbers, 14. So that's negative 14. Okay, I hope you got that. So we will now have multiplying rules, multiplication. Okay, so let's have the general rule first. So multiply the numbers like usual, like a usual multiplication. Now, if the numbers have the same signs, the answer will be positive. Okay, we're gonna get the concept later on. Same sign, okay, take note, same sign, be it all positive or all negative, the answer will be positive. Okay, now if the integers have different signs, okay, the answer will be negative. Whichever is the first number, be it positive times negative, the answer is negative. Negative times positive, the answer is still negative. So in multiplication rules, just take note of this. Just remember these two rules. Okay, like signs will give us positive. Different signs will give us negative. Okay, if you will ask me why, so this is the simple concept about that. I have no space, so I'll be writing here on the right side. So just pay attention to the right part. Okay, the right side. If we have a positive 4, we all know that its factors are 1 times 4, right? So 4 equals 1 times 4, we know that. Okay, so I'm writing, okay, let me use that multiplication symbol, 1 times 4. What about if we have negative 4? How will we write its factors? We can say it still has a 4. Okay, it still has a 4. So we can say we can take out the negative outside, and the 4, let's put it in a parenthesis just to emphasize that's positive 4. Okay, a negative and a positive 4. Okay, using the first factoring, negative 4 can be written as negative 1 times 4. All right, then negative 1 times 4. We can assign this negative to 1. All right, so we can say that 4, negative 4, is actually negative 1 times 4. Okay, so this is the main concept we're going to learn. If you are going to multiply a positive number, in this case it's 4, you are actually getting its reverse. Okay, its opposite. So a negative 1, that means if you introduce a negative to a certain positive, it will turn into its reverse. You get it? So that's negative 4. So a positive 4 multiplied by a negative 1 will turn into its opposite, becoming negative 4. So that's the main concept there. If you multiply a number by a negative, okay, you may have 1 or you may have any other number, but the concept stays the same, that you take its opposite. Okay, that is why in step number 2, that is why in step number 2, I mean in rule number 2, if you multiply a positive by a negative, okay, a positive by a negative, it turns into negative. So to say, different signs will give us a negative answer. Okay, let's have this for example. Let's have this first. Negative 7 times 7. Okay, focus on the positive. The positive number here is 7. All right. You are multiplying it by a negative. The main concept is to take its opposite. So it turns into negative. So multiply the numbers like usual. 7 times 7 is 49. Okay. And since they are different signs, then we say it's negative 49. All right. If it's still unclear, then I will be writing it like this. Negative 7 times 7 can be written as negative 7 can be turned into negative 1 times 7 times 7. Okay, we can do this first. 7 times 7 is 49, right? 49. So we say negative 1 times 49. So 49 is a positive number. We introduce a negative. So from these concepts that we just had, from this concept here in the upper right, that multiplying by a negative 1 will turn a positive into its opposite, which is negative. So therefore, it's negative 49. Okay, let's make it simple using the rules. Negative 7 times 7, different signs. The answer is negative, so negative 49. 6 times negative 6 is negative 36. Okay, what about if the signs are both the same? So positive times positive, that's positive. We don't have to discuss that. Let's focus on this both negatives. Okay, why would it become positive 15? Negative 3 times negative 5 is positive 15. So negative times negative is positive. So we can take out the negative 1 here. Okay, so negative 3, I would be writing that as negative 1 times 3. Okay, then times negative 5, I can take out the negative 1. Negative 1 times 5. Again, what am I doing here? I'm trying to factor it out. All right, and then I can regroup it using associative property. I can have the 3 and the 5 multiplied first. Then we have here negative 1 times negative 1 times 3 times 5, right? And that's 15. Okay, what about this? Negative 1 times negative 1. That will tell us, okay, to change this, follow? To change this to its opposite. Let's have the concept again. Multiplying by negative 1 will turn the number into its opposite. So the opposite of negative 1 is positive 1, right? So therefore, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. Okay, so 1 times 15 is now positive 15. That's why we say both negatives will give us positive. Okay, and also we have here negative 9 times negative 10, that's positive 90. All right, let's summarize it in our example here. Okay, so unlike sign, negative, the answer is negative. Okay, so negative, multiply as usual. 5 times 12 is 60, so 5 times negative 12 is negative 60. How about like signs? The result is positive. 14 times 8 is 32, carry 3, 8, 11, 112. So positive 112. Is it correct? 8 times 4 is 32 plus 80. Okay, 112. Okay, how about this one? Negative 23 times 7. So negative and a positive gives us negative. We multiply as usual. So that's 7 times 2, 21, carry 2, 14, 61, 61. Is this correct? So 3 times 7 is 21 plus 140. Okay, 161, that's correct. Okay, now before we go on with division, let's build the concept here. Okay, what's the rules for division? Okay, let's build the concept. All right, we all know that division is the reverse of multiplication, right? How? Let's take this for example. When we multiply 5 and 12, the answer is 60. We can just say 60 divided by 12 in reverse, right? When we divide a 60 by a 12, the answer is 5. Or when we say 60 divided by 5, the answer is 12. So we can rewrite this multiplication equation into division problem. Okay, we can reverse it. So we start with the answer negative 60 divided by, let's take the positive 5. Okay, let's expect the answer is negative 12, right? That's the other factor, so negative 12. Or we can have negative 60 divided by negative 12. So we expect the answer to be 5, right? So what's the concept here? Unlike sign. You see, these are unlike. The answer is negative. Negative and positive, the answer is negative. Negative and negative, so they are like. The answer is positive. So if you try to think of it, these are the rules for multiplication. Okay? So we conclude that the rules for division is the same rules for multiplication. Right? Same signs, positive. Different signs, negative. Right, so negative 33 divided by negative 3, positive 11. So again, divide the numbers like usual. Negative 90 divided by negative 10, positive 9. Negative 20 divided by 2, negative 10. 6 divided by negative 6, that is negative 1. Okay, so let's have examples. Alright, so pause this video, take time to answer it by yourself. So you can follow the rules first of the signs and then you divide as usual. Okay, let's compare your answers with mine. Let's see. We have negative and positive. The answer here is negative. Positive divided by negative, negative. Unlike sign, negative. Right? So these are both negative, so the answer is positive. So now divide the numbers as usual. 90 by 6, that's 15. So the answer is negative 15. 224 divided by 16, that's 14. So the answer is negative 14. Here, 57 by 19, so I think that's 3. Yeah, negative 3. Negative and negative. Okay, positive. So 16 by 8 is positive 2. All right. That ends our lesson on operations with integers. So I hope you learned something. And please do comment down below if you have questions.
Thank you guys for watching, and thank you our dear subscribers.
And if it's your first time here watching our videos, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and watch all of our other videos.